They called it Sierra Verde, a jungle so dense, even the wind got lost. A hotbed of insurgent activity. On a mission codenamed Black Talon, an elite military patrol entered this living labyrinth. Intelligence said NPA forces had gathered here, stockpiling weapons and plotting an attack. The soldiers were battle-hardened, but Sierra Verde wasn't just terrain, it was a hunter. The deeper they marched, the quieter the jungle became. No birds, no rustle, just tension thick enough to slice. Then it happened. The point man raised his hand, motion detected. But before anyone could react, the jungle exploded. Claymores, bullets, screams. They were in it now. The trap had sprung, an ambush written in the leaves. The trees erupted in fire. NPA fighters burst from hidden foxholes, rifles blazing. The soldiers scrambled for cover, but they were surrounded, caught in a perfect kill zone. Every branch was a sniper perch, every root a landmine. The enemy knew the terrain, like the veins of their own hands. Shouts echoed. A radio screamed. We're boxed in. Bullets cracked against bark and bone. The commanding officer, Captain Estrella, rallied his men behind a rock ledge, returning fire with surgical precision. Blood mixed with rain. Grenades thumped. The jungle turned red. But this team was no stranger to chaos. They dug in, held formation, and pushed back with fire and fury. They knew one truth: you never retreat from a trap, you break it. The battlefield vanished under a blanket of smoke. Estrella's team launched flares and IR drones, blinding the jungle long enough to regroup. But the NPA fighters were ghosts, disappearing into the mist, only to strike again from behind. Every second was a gamble, every breath a countdown. A corporal dragged a wounded comrade to safety as sniper fire barely missed his head. Explosions shook the canopy above. Branches ran like shrapnel, but the soldiers pressed on, switching to thermal optics reading. Heat signatures like maps of death. Through it all, one word repeated in Estrella's mind: survive. And survival meant counterattack. If they couldn't see the enemy, they'd smoke them out. This was no longer a patrol. It was war. The captured intel was clear. A larger NPA detachment was stationed atop Black Viper Ridge, a natural fortress with a view of the entire valley. Estrella led his squad along the blood trail, winding through narrow ledges and whispering trees. Booby traps lined the path. Every step was measured. Then came the ambush again. But this time, soldiers were ready. Fire teams broke formation, flanked the high ground, and hit hard. A machine gun nest erupted in flames. Above, the NPA fell back into trenches carved. Into the hillside, the fog thickened. It felt like walking into the jaws of a beast. But Estrella wouldn't turn back. Not when the ridge held the key to ending the insurgency. Tonight, the mountain would decide who lived and who became legend. The summit was war incarnate. Bullets screamed overhead. Rockets streaked through the sky. The NPA's last stronghold unleashed hell from above. Estrella's unit advanced, under cover of smoke, flanking both sides. It was brutal, hand-to-hand, gun-to-gun. Medic threw down his kit and picked up a rifle. Grenades turned bunkers to ash. Estrella faced the NPA commander in a fiery standoff, an exchange of lead, sweat, and willpower. The mountain trembled beneath them. Then silence. The flag was raised. The stronghold was theirs. What remained was ruin and victory, but at a cost. 9 men down, lives carved into stone and soil. The ridge had fallen, and with it, the NPA's grip on Sierra Verde was shattered. Dawn rose over Sierra Verde. Smoke still curled from the trees. Estrella stood on the ridge, staring into the jungle below, silent now, but never forgotten. The mission was 1. but 12 body bags told the price. No cameras, no medals, just names, just sacrifice. As helicopters lifted the wounded skyward, the jungle faded into mist again. The ambush had failed. The army had bled, but never broke. And though the world may never hear their names, Sierra Verde would remember them. Written in blood, whispered in the wind, their courage would echo long after war had passed. They were shadows in the green, heroes in the smoke, ghosts of the ambush who never surrender. The jungle was alive with thunder as the soldiers launched their counterstrike. Using enemy gunfire as a guide, Estrella's team stormed into the trees. Flashbangs popped. Grenades cleared brush. They moved like phantoms, tight, relentless, unshaken. The NPA wasn't expecting retaliation this aggressive. Their lines cracked. Hidden bunkers were flushed out with tear gas and shock rounds. Muzzle flashes lit up the darkness like lightning. A sergeant kicked down a camouflage door. Inside they found maps, radios, and a captured intel officer. The tide had turned. The hunted had become hunters. But as Estrella checked his team, he realized one thing. This wasn't the main force. The true enemy was still out there, deeper in the jungle. And they were waiting